Hello there, Carol here. Thank you for joining me today. Are you a bit bored? Are you a bit fed up? I was this morning. So I got my stamps out, got my stays on ink out, got myself some coffee dyed paper out and some file folders, and I've been creating. So I thought you might like to join me and just see what it is that I'm up to. And so let's crack on and do some. Just thought, because I was playing, I thought, well, I might as well come on and share what it is that I'm actually doing. It might inspire you as well. So today I'm stamping on some coffee dyed cardstock, and well, I'm using a variety of stamps because I'm having a stamping morning, but hopefully you can see without the glare. This is the stamp that I'm going to demonstrate with. So basically all I'm doing is I've got some coffee dyed card or thick paper, and I'm just going to rip it in half because that then is about the right height for what I want to create. So let's just rip that. Okay. Now for this stamp, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to lay this on my stamping mat and leave it there, and then put the paper onto the stamp. And I am using my Stays On Timber Brown because I thought it'd be nice to have some brown onto coffee dyed paper, which is also kind of brown. So I've re-inked these pads this morning, so they're really nice and juicy. Although the amount of stamping I've done already with them this morning, they might start running out soon. And then I'm just going to lay this on top of the stamp and then just rub it with my hand very carefully, because I don't want the paper shifting and I don't want the stamp shifting. And I can already see it starting to come through a little bit, which that's fine. And it doesn't matter if it's a perfect stamp or not, because I'm going to be collaging over the top of these anyway. So as you can see, I've got this section here left. So we'll just put ink on this section of the stamp, just enough to fill that space. So if I line it up using the grid a little bit, and see it's roughly there. So, and again, doesn't matter if it overlaps a bit either, because a lot of this is going to be covered over. So there we go. Doesn't matter that it's at different heights. So I'm going to go and do a couple more and I'll be back. So as you can see on this one, the bottom of the card here is missing some of the stamping. So I'm just going to add some onto the bottom to make sure that the whole page is filled up. Yeah, about there. And just a tiny bit over there. And as I say, it doesn't matter if this overlaps. There we go, that's the whole sheet now covered. So that's 3 sheets now done. And then I'm just going to measure the height of these. Okay, so it's about 5 3/4 inches ish. So I'm going to cut these down to 2 3/4 inches. So I've got 3 pieces out of 1. That's 6. And if I'm good at my maths, this will be 9. Now, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to trim this bottom bit off. It's a little bit rough and ragged. So I'm actually going to cut these to 5 inches long. And I want to keep these little bits for now. Okay, so I've got my my corner punch, and I think I'm going to use the large one. And I'm just going to go through and make these into tags. And every time I do this, these little triangles, they shoot out and land on me. I stood up earlier, I was just covered in them. Now I could go through and hole punch these, or slot punch them, or ribbon slot punch them, but I'm going to leave them as they are because I'm not sure yet what I'm actually going to put on each of these, and I think that that will determine what kind of doodaddy thing that I do at the top up there. But these little things, so there's a little tiny corner section in there. So if I just, hang on, straighten that edge up. That was a real fluffy edge. There you go. Better. Let's choose one that hasn't got quite such a fluffy edge. Now you don't have to have one of these corner punches, but it does make life a lot easier and a lot quicker. So you could just cut these with your scissors. Now these, I'm just going to ink up, and I'm using a walnut stain. So I've got these narrow word labels, and of course you can use your Mr. Tim's if you so wish. So I'm just going to chop a few of these up. Some good ones on there. And again, I just couldn't be bothered to get my paper trimmer out, just using my squizzers. Fingers are covered in ink. But hey ho, such is our life. Right, let's just do 3. So I'm not going to bore you all too much. ink up around the edge of them. Got my glue. Alright. And then that can sit on there. So I've either created a nice label to put onto something, or I can create a dangle, put a hole in the top. But these make nice little sort of background areas, don't they? And even if I use it on the tag, you know, as a dangle, once I've attached me ribbons and things. So I've now got a nice little stash of all these sort of labely taggy bits, and then I've done loads, loads loads of tags, and I've done them on file folders. So those were done on file folders. These were all done on coffee dyed paper and card. So yeah, I've got a really sort of nice selection now, all sat in my stash waiting to be used. Thank you very much, and I shall be back, I'm sure, in another video showing how I'm going to decorate these. But I just thought it might encourage you to go off and go and get your stamps out and, you know, do a little bit of something if you're a bit fed up or you're not quite sure what to do. Okay, thanks for watching everyone. See you again soon. Just thought I'd share what I was doing. Bye for now. Bye.